No bore today. Today I want just to speak about a concept that I'm using all the time that's called fragile and anti-fragile. And if you read Nassim Taleb books, you're aware of this concept because he brought the concept, not me. And the concept is extremely interesting and extremely viable for each and every group of people, whether it's 5 people that are running as a team or 500,000 people that's running as a big organization. And the idea is pretty simple. So we have stuff that are fragile. If I take a glass and I drop it, it's fragile. But what is anti-fragile? If I take a rock and I'll start to put force on the rock, eventually the rock will turn into small parts or into dust. So even that we think that rocks are not fragile, they're fragile. Anti-fragile are elements that can be broken, period. And it's extremely hard to find them. But I think the most good example for something that is completely anti-fragile, it's water. So if you take any body of water, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, the body of water is not going to break apart. It's going to adjust itself all the time to what's going on in the environment, but it's not going to go away. And the same idea applicable to groups. So in each and every group, if you want a group to survive, especially a company, you have to find how you're creating anti-fragility in the business. I think that in the business world, one of the best examples is redundancy. So if I have just one single point of failure, I'm extremely fragile. If I manage to take this single point of failure and make redundancy out of it into 2 points or 3 points or 5 points, then I'm starting to be less and less anti-fragile, but I'm not yet completely anti-fragile, yeah? To be completely anti-fragile is extremely different and it's extremely complex because it's usually coming with a payback. So you can be I can be completely anti-fragile as water in organization. But if I'm going to create an organization that act like water, it will be also extremely hard to manage this organization. So there's always, benefit, advantage, and disadvantage that you have to take in account. But when we are looking at organization, when we are doing synthesis, we are always trying to look for any anti-fragility that the current organization, as it is right now, an organization or system, it's the same thing, and it could be 5 people or 500,000 people, really doesn't matter. Do they have already element that they tagged or they refer as their anti-fragility and they are developing them, or they have nothing, but there are definitely opportunities to create anti-fragility in the system. So that's all, around 3 to 4 minutes about anti-fragility. If you want to get deep into it, Nassim Taleb, Google Nassim Taleb anti-fragility, you'll find it all over. That's pretty common term that it's being used. So that's all for today. Thanks. Bye.